Greetings and welcome to the channel. My name is Dr. Nana Gyesie, transformational coach here at Inner Mileage, where we help folks heal, transform, and live optimized lives. And today we're going to talk about how Kemetic spirituality, or ancient Egyptian spirituality, and the principles of Maat can help liberate empaths from narcissistic abuse. How ancient Egyptian philosophy and spirituality, or Kemetic spirituality, can help with aligning empaths to escape from narcissistic abuse. So empaths, we know, are uniquely gifted individuals who are drawn into relationships that test the boundaries of their emotional and spiritual resilience. It's what happens. And this is especially the case with narcissists. But what if I told you that these painful relationships are not just random occurrences, but part of a larger spiritual initiation into your purpose? And I know most of us know this. So we're going to turn to ancient spiritual wisdom of Kemet, or ancient Egypt. But for the purposes of this video, I'll keep saying Kemet, which means ancient Egypt. And Kemet means the Black Land. This was a civilization built along the Nile River over 5,000 years ago. Even predates Hindu civilization. And this was when Kemet was black, before the Arabs came to North Africa. And Arabs came to North Africa somewhere around the 7th century. And they over 10 centuries populated North Africa. So prior to that, we're talking 5,000 years ago. And it wasn't just an advanced society of art and architecture. It was a spiritual powerhouse. In fact, the Library of Alexandria in Egypt, in Black Egypt at the time, was a place of great study where many great folks from Greece, Aristotle, Plato, Socrates, studied there and brought those ideas to Greece, which is the basis of most of Western civilization. So we know that the teachings of Kemet centered around the principle of Maat. And the Maat is the principle of cosmic order and balance, which can serve as a guiding light for empaths to escape the chaos of narcissistic abuse, heal, and realign with their destiny. So we're going to explore this and connect it to modern psychology, neuroscience, and other healing practices. So let's start. What is Kemet and why is it relevant? Well, Kemet was one of the most advanced civilizations in human history, revered not just for its architectural marvels like the pyramids in Giza and all these Abu Simbel, but for its deep spiritual philosophy. The Kemetic worldview emphasized living in harmony with universal laws, a principle embodied in what's called Maat. And this civilization contributed to global knowledge in mathematics, medicine, and governance, and has greatly and directly influenced major spiritual traditions, including Hermeticism and even early Christianity. So in Kemetic spirituality, life is seen as a journey towards balance and harmony. And each individual is tasked with living in alignment, living with Maat, the principles of truth, justice, and order. And deviating from Maat leads to chaos or isfet. And this binary dynamic between balance and chaos mirrors the experience of empaths entangled in narcissistic relationships. So we know, bringing in some academic evidence here, the work of the great Dr. Sheikh Anta Diop highlights the scientific and spiritual advancements of Kemet and its contributions to later civilizations. Also, Egyptologists such as Dr. Kari Cooney describes Maat as both a personal and societal code of ethics designed to maintain balance, which resonates with the psychological studies of the role of ethical frameworks around trauma recovery, right? And we know that UNESCO has recognized Kemet as a foundation to African and world heritage, emphasizing its influence on law, governance, and spirituality. So let's go into what Maat is. Maat is not just a principle, the feminine principle. It represents truth, balance, and justice and cosmic order. Or she represents truth, balance, justice, and cosmic order. And in Kemetic mythology, Maat was the force that kept the universe running in harmony. So the pharaohs swore to uphold Maat in their governance And the individual sought to live by her principles, the principles of Maat, to ensure a balanced afterlife. And the core principles of Maat are truth, Ma'at, recognizing and living in alignment with reality even when it's painful. Balance, Sekem, maintaining emotional, spiritual, and relational equilibrium, especially when you've been abused. Order, Tefnut, which is creating structures that reflect harmony and purpose. And then finally, justice, Jehuti's wisdom, ensuring fairness in actions and decisions. So in Kemetic teachings, when a person passes on, their heart is weighed against Ma'at's feather on the scale. And if the heart is light as a feather, they are free to ascend. If it's heavy, imagine your heart being lighter than a feather. If it's heavy with chaos and untruth, the person remains bound to lower realms. And this metaphor is powerful for empaths because it teaches us that living lightly and free of emotional burdens and chaos is essential for true liberation. So let's talk about empaths as agents of balance. Empaths naturally embody many of Maat's principles because empaths seek harmony, justice, and balance. However, narcissists thrive on the opposite: chaos, deception, pulling empaths away from their center. And this dynamic, I have to say, is not accidental. It's a battle of Maat versus Isfet brought to life. So you think about narcissistic tactics and how Maat exposes them. They include one, illusions of truth. Narcissists manipulate empaths by distorting reality through gaslighting and lying. And Maat teaches empaths to root themselves in objective and spiritual truths. Then there's emotional imbalance. Narcissists create cycles of high intensity emotional entanglement to destabilize their victims. Maat restores equilibrium. And then there's a disruption of order. Narcissists thrive in disorder, leaving empaths overwhelmed. Maat teaches the power of structure to reclaim peace. So we know when you think of Dr. Judith Herman's work and her studies on Maat, that clarity and structure are essential for recovery. You see? So how do you practice Maat to break free? Well, living in truth, journaling, writing the truths you've acknowledged in your relationship bring clarity. And when you have this clarity, you are engaging with what is true in the moment. And even psychological interventions like cognitive behavioral therapy, CBT, emphasize truth recognition as a pathway for emotional healing. Then the second is restoring balance, such as establishing daily rituals for emotional self-care, such as meditation and grounding exercises. And research shows that grounding and mindfulness restore balance to the nervous system, which is dysregulated by trauma. And then pursuing justice and righteousness, such as engaging in forgiveness rituals, not to condone harm, but to release the emotional weight of what's happened to you. And building a relationship with integrity and fairness. See, this is how you are able to pull yourself out of the resonant range of the narcissist, because the narcissist can only reach you when you are engulfed in chaos, unforgiveness, and trauma. In other words, hate. They cannot reach you when you're in a place of love. Therefore, they try to trigger you from love with frustration lies to get you to be resonant to them. So in Kemetic spirituality, trials are often seen as necessary initiations for spiritual growth. Narcissistic abuse, as painful as it is, can refine the empath into a healer, teacher, or lightworker. So you realize that the concept of post-traumatic growth shows how individuals who integrate their suffering emerge with stronger purpose and spirituality. And aligning with Maat's principles ensures that empaths transcend their pain to fulfill their divine mission. So if this resonates with you, and I can be of help, type transform in the comment section or send me a message at nana@innermileage.com, or check out our Escaping Narcissistic Abuse course to help you align with this. You know, the wisdom of Kemet and Maat remind us that chaos is not the end, but a pathway to transformation. By embracing truth, balance, and justice, you too can heal from narcissistic abuse. And remember, there's absolutely no one like you. Peace.